Chapters 91 through 100 of the Egyptian Book of the Dead by E. A. Wallis Budge. Chapter 91. Vignette: the soul of the deceased in the form of a human-headed bird standing in front of a pylon. Text: the chapter of not letting the soul of Nu triumphant be captive in the underworld. He saith, Hail, thou who art exalted! Hail, thou who art adored! O thou mighty one of souls, thou divine soul, thou possessor of terrible power, who dost put the fear of thyself into the gods, thou who art crowned upon thy throne of majesty, I pray thee to make a way for the Ba, soul, and for the Khu, and for the Khaibit, shade of the overseer of the palace, the chancellor in chief Nu triumphant, and let him be provided therewith. I am a perfect Khu, and I have made my way unto the place wherein dwell Ra and Hathor. Rubric: if this chapter be known by the deceased, he shall be able to transform himself into a Khu, provided with his soul and with his shade in the underworld, and he shall never be held captive at any door in Amentet, in entering in or in coming out. Chapter 92. Vignette: the soul of the deceased in the form of a human-headed bird flying out from the doorway of the tomb. Variant vignettes represent the deceased as having opened the door of the tomb and having his soul by his side, or as standing before the open door with hands stretched out to embrace his soul. An interesting vignette represents the disk of the sun with rays shooting forth from it above the tomb, and the soul of the deceased hovering over his shade, drawn in solid black color, which has just emerged therefrom. Text: the chapter of opening the tomb to the soul and to the shade of Osiris, the scribe Nebseni, the Lord of Reverence, born of the lady of the house Mut Restha, triumphant, so that he may come forth by day and have dominion over his feet. He saith, that which was shut fast hath been opened, that is to say, he that lay down in death hath been opened. That which was open hath been shut to my soul through the command of the Eye of Horus, which hath strengthened me, and which maketh to stand fast the beauties which are upon the forehead of Ra, whose strides are long as he lifteth up his legs in journeying. I have made for myself a way. My members are mighty and are strong. I am Horus the avenger of his divine father. I am he who bringeth along his divine father, and who bringeth along his mother by means of his scepter. And the way shall be opened unto him who hath gotten dominion over his feet, and he shall see the great God in the boat of Ra, when souls are counted therein at the bows, and when the years also are counted up. Grant that the Eye of Horus, which maketh the adornments of light to be firm upon the forehead of Ra, may deliver my soul for me. And let there be darkness upon your faces, O ye who would hold fast Osiris. O keep not captive my soul. O keep not ward over my shade. But let a way be opened for my soul and for my shade, and let them see the great God in the shrine on the day of the judgment of souls. And let them recite the utterances of Osiris, whose habitations are hidden, to those who guard the members of Osiris, and who keep ward over the Khus, and who hold captive the shades of the dead who would work evil against me, so that they shall not work evil against me. May a way for thy double Ka along with thee and along with thy soul be prepared by those who keep ward over the members of Osiris, and who hold captive the shades of the dead. Heaven shall not keep thee, the earth shall not hold thee captive. Thou shalt not have thy being with the divine beings who make slaughter, but thou shalt have dominion over thy legs, and thou shalt advance to thy body straightway in the earth, and to those who belong to the shrine, and guard the members of Osiris. Chapter 93. Vignette: a buckle with human hands and arms, which grasp the deceased by his left arm. In the Ani papyrus and in the Sa'ite recension, the vignette shows the deceased standing with both hands raised in adoration before a god who is seated in a boat and who has his head turned so that his face looks backwards. Text: the chapter of not sailing to the east in the underworld. The Chancellor in Chief, Nu, triumphant, saith: Hail, phallus of Ra, who departest from thy calamity which ariseth through opposition. The cycles have been without movement for millions of years. I am stronger than the strong, I am mightier than the mighty. If I sail away, or if I be snatched away to the east through the two horns, or, as others say, if any evil and abominable thing be done unto me at the feast of the devils, the phallus of Ra shall be swallowed up, along with the head of Osiris. And behold me, for I journey along over the fields wherein the gods mow down those who make reply unto their words. Now verily the two horns of the god Khepera shall be thrust aside, and verily pus shall spring into being in the eye of Tem, along with corruption, if I be kept in restraint, or if I have gone towards the east, or if the feast of devils be made in my presence, or if any malignant wound be inflicted upon me. Chapter 94. Vignette: the deceased seated with a table before him on which rest an ink pot and the palette of a scribe. In the Sa'ite recension, the deceased is offering an ink pot and a palette to the god Thoth. Text: the chapter of praying for an ink pot and for a palette. The Chancellor in Chief, Nu, triumphant, saith: Hail, aged God, who dost behold thy divine Father, and who art the guardian of the Book of Thoth. Behold, I have come, I am endowed with glory, I am endowed with strength, I am filled with might, and I am supplied with the books of Thoth, and I have brought them to enable me to pass through the god Aker, who dwelleth in Set. I have brought the ink pot and the palette as being the objects which are in the hands of Thoth. Hidden is that which is in them. Behold me in the character of a scribe. I have brought the offal of Osiris, and I have written thereon. I have made, that is, copied, the words of the great and beautiful God each day fairly. O Herokuti, thou didst order me, and I have made, that is, copied, what is right and true, and I do bring it unto thee each day. Chapter 95. Vignette: the deceased standing before Thoth, with both hands raised in adoration of the god. In the papyrus of Usur-hat, which probably belongs to the period of the 18th dynasty, the vignette is a goose, but this arises from the fact that the chapter is there called the chapter of making the transformation into a goose. Text: the chapter of being nigh unto Thoth. The Chancellor in Chief, Nu, triumphant, saith: I am he who sendeth forth terror into the powers of rain and thunder, and I ward off from the great divine lady the attacks of violence. I have smitten like the god Shat, that is, the god of slaughter, and I have poured out libations of cool water like the god Ashu, and I have worked for the great divine lady to ward off the attacks of violence. I have made to flourish my knife along with the knife which is in the hand of Thoth in the powers of rain and thunder. Chapters 96 and 97. Vignette: the deceased standing behind the god Thoth. Text: the chapter of being nigh unto Thoth, and of giving glory unto a man in the underworld. The Chancellor in Chief, Nu, triumphant, saith: I am the god Her Abmeat, that is, he that is within his eye, and I have come to give right and truth to Ra. I have made Suti to be at peace with me by means of offerings made to the god Aker and to the Tesheru deities, and by making reverence unto Seb. The following words are to be recited in the Sektet boat: Hail, scepter of Anubis! I have made the four Khus who are in the train of the Lord of the universe to be at peace with me, and I am the Lord of the fields through their decree. I am the divine Father Ba, that is, the god of the water flood, and I do away with the thirst of him that keepeth ward over the lakes. Behold ye me, then, O great gods of majesty, who dwell among the souls of Anu, for I am lifted up over you. I am the god Menk, that is gracious one, who dwelleth among you. Verily, I have cleansed my soul. O great God of majesty, set not before me the evil obstacles which issue from thy mouth, and let not destruction come round about me or upon me. I have made myself clean in the lake of making to be at peace, and in the lake of weighing in the balance, and I have bathed myself in Netert Uchat, which is under the holy sycamore tree of heaven. Behold, I am bathed, and I have triumphed over all mine enemies straightway, who come forth and rise up against right and truth. I am right and truth in the earth. I, even I, have spoken with my mouth, which is the power of the Lord, the only one, Ra the mighty, who liveth upon right and truth. Let not injury be inflicted upon me, but let me be clothed on the day of those who go forward to every good thing. Chapter 98. Vignette in the Theban Papyri. This chapter has no vignette. In the Sa'ite Recension, the vignette represents the deceased standing with his right hand outstretched in the act of addressing a god who is seated in a boat. Text: the chapter of bringing along a boat in heaven. The Chancellor in Chief, triumphant, saith: Hail to thee, O thou thigh, which dwellest in the northern heaven in the great lake, which art seen, and which diest not. I have stood up over thee when thou didst rise like a god. I have seen thee, and I have not lain down in death. I have stood over thee, and I have risen like a god. I have cackled like a goose, and I have alighted like the hawk by the divine clouds and by the great dew. I have journeyed from the earth to heaven. The god Shu hath made me to stand up. The god of light hath made me to be vigorous by the two sides of the ladder, and the stars which never rest set me on my way and bring me away from slaughter. I bring along with me the things which drive back calamities, as I advance over the passage of the god Pen. Thou comest, how great art thou, O god Pen! I have come from the pool of flame which is in the Sekhet Sasa, that is, the field of fire. Thou livest in the pool of flame in Sekhet Sasa, and I live upon the staff of thy holy god. Hail, thou god Ka, who dost bring those things which are in the boats by thee. I stand up in the boat, and I guide myself over the water. I have stood up in the boat, and the god hath guided me. I have stood up, I have spoken, I am master of the crops. I sail round about us as I go forward. And the gates which are in Sekhem Letopolis are opened unto me, and fields are awarded unto me in the city of Unnu Hermopolis, and labours are given unto me together with those of my own flesh and bone. Chapter 99. Vignette: the deceased and a boatman in a boat. Text: the chapter of bringing along a boat in the underworld. The Chancellor in Chief, Nu, triumphant, saith: Hail, ye who bring along the boat over the evil back of Apepi! Grant that I may bring the boat along, and coil up its ropes in peace, in peace. Come, come, hasten, hasten, for I have come to see my father Osiris, the lord of the Ansi garment, who hath gained the mastery with joy of heart. Hail, Lord of the rain storm, thou male, thou sailor! Hail, thou who dost sail over the evil back of Apep! Hail, thou that dost bind up heads, and dost stablish the bones of the neck when thou comest forth from the knives! Hail, thou who art in charge of the hidden boat, who dost fetter Apep! Grant that I may bring along the boat, and that I may coil up the ropes, and that I may sail forth therein. This land is baleful, and the stars have overbalanced themselves, and have fallen upon their faces therein, and they have not found anything which will help them to ascend again. Their path is blocked by the tongue of Ra. Antebu is the guide of the two lands. Seb is stablished through their rudders, the power which openeth the disk. The prince of the red beings, I am brought along like him that hath suffered shipwreck. Grant that my Khu, my brother, may come to me, and that I may set out for the place whereof thou knowest. Tell me my name, saith the wood whereat I would anchor. Lord of the two lands, who dwellest in the shrine, is thy name. Tell me my name, saith the rudder. Leg of Hapiu is thy name. Tell me my name, saith the rope. Hair with which Anpu, Anubis, finisheth the work of my embalmment, is thy name. Tell us our name, say the Ores, pillars of the underworld is your name. Tell me my name, saith the hold, Akar is thy name. Tell me my name, saith the mast, he who bringeth back the great lady after she hath gone away is thy name. Tell me my name, saith the lower deck, standard of Apuat is thy name. Tell me my name, saith the upper post, throat of Mestha is thy name. Tell me my name, saith the sail, Nut is thy name. Tell us our name, say the pieces of leather, ye who are made from the hide of the Menevis bull which was burned by Suti is your name. Tell us our name, say the paddles, fingers of Horus, the firstborn is your name. Tell me my name, saith the Machebet, the hand of Isis, which wipeth away the blood from the eye of Horus, is thy name. Tell us our names, say the planks which are in its hulk, Mesthi, Hapi, Tu'amatef, Queb Senef, Hakwa, that is he who leadeth away captive, Thetem Awa, that is he who seizeth by violence, Mea Antef, that is he who seeth what the Father bringeth, and Ari Neth Teseth, that is he who made himself, are your names. Tell us our name, say the bows, he who is at the head of his gnomes is your name. Tell me my name, saith the hull, Mert is thy name. Tell me my name, saith the rudder, Aqua, that is true one, is thy name. O thou who shinest from the water, hidden beam is thy name. Tell me my name, saith the keel, thigh or leg of Isis, which Ra cut off with the knife to bring blood into the Sektet boat is thy name. Tell me my name, saith the sailor, traveller is thy name. Tell me my name, saith the wind by which thou art borne along, the north wind which cometh from Tem to the nostrils of Kenti Amenti is thy name. Tell me my name, saith the river, if thou wouldst travel upon me, those which can be seen is thy name. Tell us our name, say the river banks, destroyer of the god, Iua, that is he of the spacious hand, in the waterhouse is thy name. Tell me my name, saith the ground, if thou wouldst walk upon me, the nose of heaven, which proceedeth from the god Utu, who dwelleth in the Sekhet Araru, and who cometh forth with rejoicing therefrom, is thy name. Then shall be recited before them these words: Hail to you, O ye divine beings with splendid cause, ye divine lords of things, who exist and who live forever, and whose double period of an illimitable number of years is eternity. I have made a way unto you. Grant ye me food and sepulchral meals for my mouth, and grant that I may speak therewith, and that the goddess Isis may give me loaves and cakes in the presence of the great God. I know the great God before whose nostrils ye place Tchethau food, and his name is Thechem. Both when he maketh his way from the eastern horizon of heaven, and when he journeyeth into the western horizon of heaven, may his journey be my journey, and his going forth my going forth. Let me not be destroyed at the Mesket chamber, and let not the devils gain dominion over my members. I have my cakes in the city of Pe, and I have my ale in the city of Tepu, and let the offerings which are given unto you be given unto me this day. Let my offerings be wheat and barley. Let my offerings be anti, unguent, and linen garments. Let my offerings be for life, strength, and health. Let my offerings be a coming forth by day in any form whatsoever, in which it may please me to appear in Sekhet Aru. Rubric: if this chapter be known by the deceased, he shall come forth into Sekhet Aru, and bread and wine and cakes shall be given unto him at the altar of the great God, and fields and an estate sown with wheat and barley, which the followers of Horus shall reap for him, and he shall eat of that wheat and barley, and his limbs shall be nourished therewith, and his body shall be like unto the bodies of the gods, and he shall come forth into Sekhet Aru in any form whatsoever he pleaseth, and he shall appear therein regularly and continually. Chapters 100 and 129. Vignette: a boat wherein stand the deities Isis, Thoth, Khepera, and Shu, and the deceased sailing on a stream. The vignette in the Sa'ite Recension shows the deceased poling along a boat wherein are Ra and the Bennu bird, and in front of the boat stand the emblem of the East, the god Osiris, and the Tet, that is, the emblem of Osiris and of stability. The 4 short lines of text written over the boat read: "The overseer of the palace, the chancellor in chief, Nu, triumphant, raiseth up the Tet and establisheth the buckle, and he saileth with Ra into any place that he pleaseth." Text: the book of making perfect the khu and of causing him to go forth into the boat of Ra along with those who are in his following. The overseer of the palace, the chancellor in chief, Nu, triumphant, saith: "I have brought the divine Bennu to the east, and Osiris to the city of Tatu. I have opened the treasure houses of the god Hop. I have made clean the roads of the Disk, and I have drawn the god Sekeri along upon his sledge. The mighty and divine lady hath made me strong at her hour. I have praised and glorified the Disk, and I have united myself unto the divine apes who sing at the dawn, and I am a divine being among them. I have made myself a counterpart of the goddess Isis, and her power Khu hath made me strong. I have tied up the rope, I have driven back Apep, I have made him to walk backwards. Ra hath stretched out to me both his hands, and his mariners have not repulsed me. My strength is the strength of the Utchat, and the strength of the Utchat is my strength. If the overseer of the house, the chancellor in chief, Nu, triumphant, be separated from the boat of Ra, then shall he, that is Ra, be separated from the egg and from the Abtu fish." Rubric: this chapter shall be recited over the design which hath been drawn above, and it shall be written upon papyrus which hath not been written upon, with ink made of grains of greens, a butt mixed with anti water, and the papyrus shall be placed on the breast of the deceased. It shall not enter into, that is, touch his members. If this be done for any deceased person, he shall go forth into the boat of Ra in the course of the day every day, and the god Thoth shall take account of him as he cometh forth from and goeth in the course of the day every day, regularly and continually into the boat of Ra, as a perfect khu, and he shall set up the Tet, and shall stablish the buckle, and shall sail about with Ra into any place he wisheth. In the Sa'ite Recension, Chapter 100 is repeated as 129, and both texts have the same vignette. The rubric of Chapter 129 is, however, fuller than that of Chapter 100, and it may conveniently be divided into 2 parts, the first of which refers to the picture which is ordered to be written upon a piece of new papyrus, and the second to the chapter itself. End of chapters 91 through 100. Chapters 101 through 110 of the Egyptian Book of the Dead by E. A. Wallis Budge. Chapter 101. Vignette in the Papyrus of Nu. This chapter has no vignette in the Sa'ite Recension. The deceased is seen poling along a boat wherein are the god Ra and the Bennu bird. Text: the chapter of protecting the boat of Ra. O thou that cleavest the water as thou comest forth from the stream, and dost sit upon thy place in thy boat, sit thou upon thy place in thy boat as thou goest forth to thy station of yesterday, and do thou join the Osiris, the overseer of the palace, the chancellor in chief, Nu, triumphant, the perfect Khu, unto thy mariners, and let thy strength be his strength. Hail Ra, in thy name of Ra, if thou dost pass by the eye of 7 cubits, which hath a pupil of 3 cubits, then verily do thou strengthen the Osiris, Nu, triumphant, the perfect Khu, and let him be among thy mariners, and let thy strength be his strength. Hail Ra, in thy name of Ra, if thou dost pass by those who are overturned in death, then verily do thou make the Osiris, Nu, triumphant, the perfect soul, to stand up upon his feet, and may thy strength be his strength. Hail Ra, in thy name of Ra, if the hidden things of the underworld are opened unto thee, and thou dost gratify the heart of the cycle of thy gods, then verily do thou grant joy of heart unto the chancellor in chief, Nu, triumphant, and let thy strength be his strength. Thy members, O Ra, are established by this chapter. Rubric: this chapter shall be recited over a bandlet of the fine linen of kings, upon which it hath been written with Anti, which shall be laid upon the neck of the perfect Khu on the day of the burial. If this amulet be laid upon his neck, he shall do everything which he desireth to do, even like the gods. And he shall join himself unto the followers of Horus, and he shall be stablished as a star face to face with Septet, Sothis, and his corruptible body shall be as a god along with his kinsfolk forever. And the goddess Menkhet shall make plants to germinate upon his body, and the majesty of the god Thoth lovingly shall make the light to rest upon his corruptible body at will, even as he did for the majesty of the king of the north and of the south, the god Osiris triumphant. Chapter 102. Vignette: the boat of Ra, with the god seated therein and holding a paddle. Before him kneels the god Isis, and behind him the deceased. Sometimes Ra is accompanied by the gods Thoth and Khepera, and sometimes by Anubis alone. In the Sa'ite Recension the deceased is kneeling before Ra at a table of offerings. Text: the chapter of going into the boat of Ra. The Chancellor in Chief Nu, triumphant, saith: Hail, thou great God who art in thy boat, bring thou me into thy boat. I have come forward to thy steps, let me be the director of thy journeyings, and let me be among those who belong to thee, and who are among the stars which never rest. The things which are an abomination unto thee, and the things which are an abomination unto me, I will not eat. That which is an abomination unto me, that which is an abomination unto me, is filth, and I will not eat thereof. But sepulchral offerings and holy food will I eat, and I shall not be overthrown thereby. I will not draw nigh unto filth with my hands, and I will not walk thereon with my sandals, because my bread is made of white barley, and my ale is made of red barley. And behold, the Sektet boat and the Atet boat have brought these things, and have laid the gifts of the lands upon the altar of the souls of Anu. Hymns of praise be to thee, O Aritz, as thou travellest through heaven. Let there be food for thee, O dweller in the city of Teni. This. And when the dogs gather together, let me not suffer harm. I myself have come, and I have delivered the god from the things which have been inflicted upon him, and from the grievous sickness of the body, of the arm, and of the leg. I have come, and I have spit upon the body. I have bound up the arm, and I have made the leg to walk. I have entered the boat, and I sail round about by the command of Ra. Chapter 103. Vignette: the goddess Hathor, having a disk and horns upon her head, and a scepter in her left hand. Behind her stands the deceased. Text: the chapter of being with the goddess Hathor. The Chancellor in Chief, Nu, triumphant, saith: I am the pure traveller. Behold As Ahi, behold As Ahi. Let me be among those who follow the goddess Hathor. Chapter 104. Vignette: two great gods seated on thrones facing each other. On the ground between them sits the deceased. In the Sa'ite Recension the deceased is seated on a low pedestal before three gods. Text: the chapter of sitting among the great gods. Behold Nebseni, who saith: I sit among the great gods, and I have made a way for myself through the house of the Sektet boat, and behold, the mantis hath brought me to see the great gods who dwell in the underworld, and I shall be triumphant before them, for I am pure. Chapter 105. Vignette: the deceased standing before a ka on a pedestal. With his right hand he pours out a libation, and with his left he makes an offering of incense. Text: the chapter of making offerings to the Ka in the underworld. The overseer of the palace, the Chancellor in Chief, Nu, triumphant, saith: Homage to thee, O my Ka, who art my period of life. Grant thou that I may come before thee, and let me rise up like the sun, and let me be strong, and let me have my soul, and let me gain the mastery over mine enemies. For I have brought to thee an offering of incense, and I have made myself pure therewith, and I will purify that which issueth from thee therewith. The evil things which I have spoken, and the hateful transgressions which I have committed, lay thou not upon me, for I am the mother of emerald amulet, which belongeth unto the neck of Ra, and which hath been placed there by those who dwell in the double horizon, that is, the eastern and western parts of the sky. Their vigour is my vigour, their vigour is my vigour. My ka is like unto their kas, and the tchefau food of my ka is like unto the tchefau food of their kas. O thou who liftest up the scales, and who exaltest right and truth to the nostrils of Ra this day, let not my head fall away from me. For behold, am I not the eye which looketh upon thee? Am I not the ear which hearkeneth unto thee? For behold, am I not the bull of those who have fallen down in death? And have not sepulchral meals been made for me? And are not those who live in the heights, or according to another reading, those who are chiefs of Nut, for me? Grant thou that I may go forward by thee, for I, even I, am pure, and I have made Osiris to triumph over his enemies. Chapter 106. Vignette: a table of offerings. In the Sa'ite Recension, the deceased is making offerings to the god Ptah. Text: the chapter of giving sepulchral meals unto the Osiris Nu, triumphant, in Het Ptah Ka, that is, Memphis, in the underworld. The Chancellor in Chief Nu, triumphant, saith: Hail, great God, thou Lord of Tchefau food! Hail, great God, thou Prince of the celestial habitations, which supply bread for the god Ptah! Hail, mighty one, who dwellest in the great house! Grant ye unto me bread, grant ye unto me ale, and let me cleanse myself by means of the haunch and by the offerings of cakes. Hail, thou divine boat of Sekhet Aaru! Let these cakes be brought to me by thy stream, even as thy divine father, the mighty one, passed thereon in the divine bark. Chapter 107. There is no equivalent for this chapter in the papyri containing the Theban Recension. In the Sa'ite Recension, this chapter is called the chapter of going into and of coming out from the gate of the gods of the West, of being among the followers of Ra, and of knowing the souls of the West. And the vignette represents the deceased standing with both hands raised in adoration before Ra, Sebek, Hathor, and a serpent, who rest on the slope of a mountain. The text is actually the first line and a half of chapter 109, which is entitled the chapter of knowing the souls of the East. Chapter 108. Vignette: the deities Temu, Sebek, and Hathor seated. Text: the chapter of knowing the souls of the West. The Chancellor in Chief, Nu, triumphant, saith: Now the mountain of Bakau, that is, the mountain of the sunrise, whereupon this heaven supports itself, is situated in the eastern part of heaven, and it hath dimensions of 300 ket, that is, 30,000 cubits in length, and 150 kahet, that is, 150,000 cubits in breadth. Sebek, the lord of Bakau, dwelleth to the east of the mountain, and his temple is on the earth there. There is a serpent on the brow of that mountain, and he measureth 30 cubits in length. The first 8 cubits of his length are covered with flints and with shining metal plates. The Osiris Nu, triumphant, knoweth the name of this serpent which dwelleth on his hill. Dweller in his fire is his name. Now after Ra hath stood still, he inclineth his eyes towards him, and a stoppage of the boat of Ra taketh place, and a mighty sleep cometh upon him that is in the boat, and he gulpeth down 7 cubits of the great waters. Thereby he maketh Sutti, to depart having the harpoon of iron in him, and thereby he is caused to throw up everything which he hath eaten, and thereby is set put into his place of restraint. And then I recite before him the enchantment, saying, Get thee back to the sky, for that which is in my hand is ready. I stand up in thy place of restraint. The boat advanceth, taking heed to the way. Thy head is covered up, while I sail on and turn back thy steps. I am the man who covereth thy head, and who poureth cold water upon thy palm. I have strength, and I am strong. I am the divine one, who is mighty in enchantments, namely, the son of Nut, and my splendour hath therefore been delivered unto me. Who then is this venerable Khu, who advanceth walking upon his belly, and upon his tail, and upon the joints of his back? Verily, it is I myself who do walk over thee, and thy strength is in my power. I am he who lifteth up strength, and I have come, and I have become master of the serpents of Ra, when he setteth in my sight at eventide. I go round about heaven, but thou art fettered with fetters, which thing was ordained for thee formerly when Ra set in life in his horizon. I, even I, know how to guide the matters whereby the serpent Apep is driven back, and I know the divine souls of the West, that is to say, Tem and Sebek, the lord of Bakau, and Hathor, the lady of the evening. Chapter 109. Vignette: The god Heru Khuti Harmarchus seated. Before him is a spotted calf, behind which stands the deceased with both hands raised in adoration of the god. Above is the morning star. Elsewhere the deceased is seen standing with both hands raised in adoration before three seated ibis-headed deities. In the Sa'ite Recension the vignette is quite different. The god Ra Harmarchus, hawk-headed and wearing a disk which is encircled by a serpent, is seated in a boat. Above the disk is the emblem of air, and he holds on his knees the emblem of life. Before him in the boat is a calf, above which is a star, and behind him stands the deceased. The boat is about to sail between two sycamore trees, in front of which stands the deceased with both hands raised in adoration. Text: The chapter of knowing the souls of the East. The Chancellor in Chief, Nu, triumphant, saith: I, even I, know the eastern gate of heaven. Now its southern part is at the lake of Karu, and its northern part is at the canal of the geese, where out Ra cometh with winds which make him to advance. I am he who is concerned with the tackle which is in the divine bark. I am the sailor who ceaseth not in the boat of Ra. I, even I, know the two sycamores of turquoise, between which Ra showeth himself when he strideth forward over the supports of Shu, towards the gate of the Lord of the East, through which Ra cometh forth. I, even I, know the Sektet Aaru of Ra, the walls of which are of iron. The height of the wheat therein is 5 cubits, of the ears thereof 2 cubits, and of the stalks thereof 3 cubits. The barley therein is in height 7 cubits, the ears thereof are 3 cubits, and the stalks thereof are 4 cubits. And behold, the Khus, each one of whom therein is 9 cubits in height, reap it near the divine souls of the East. I, even I, know the divine souls of the East, that is to say, Heru Khuti Harmarchus, and the calf of the goddess Khera, and the morning star daily. A divine city hath been built for me, I know it, and I know the name thereof. Sekhet Aaru is its name. Chapter 110. Vignette: The Sekhet Hetepet, or Fields of Peace, commonly called the Elysian Fields, surrounded and intersected by streams. The divisions contain the following: A. Nebseni, the scribe and artist of the temple of Ptah, with his arms hanging by his sides, entering the Elysian Fields. B. The scribe Nebseni, making an offering of incense to the great company of the gods. C. Nebseni, seated in a boat, paddling. Above the boat are 3 symbols for city. D. The deceased addressing a bearded mummied figure. E. 3 pools or lakes called Urti, Hetep, and Ketket respectively. F. Nebseni reaping in Sekhet hetepet. G. Nebseni grasping the Bennu bird, which is perched upon a stand. In front are 3 kas and 3 kus. H. Nebseni seated and smelling a flower. The text reads, thousands of all good and pure things to the ka of Nebseni. I. A table of offerings. J. 4 pools of lakes called Nebtau, E. Uaka, Ka, and Hetep. K. Nebseni plowing with oxen by the side of a stream which is 1,000 measures in length, and the width of which cannot be said. In it there are neither fish nor worms. L. Nebseni plowing with oxen on an island, the length of which is the length of heaven. M. A division shaped like a bowl, in which is inscribed the birthplace of the god of the city Kennet Nebt. N. An island whereon are 4 gods and a flight of steps. The legend reads, the great company of the gods who are in Sekhet Hetep. O. The boat Tetchetfet with 8 oars, 4 at the bows and 4 at the stern, floating at the end of a canal. In it is a flight of steps. The place where it lies is called the domain of Neth. P. 2 pools, the names of which are illegible. The vignette in the papyrus of Ani has some interesting variants and may be thus described. 1. Ani making an offering before a hare-headed god, a snake-headed god, and a bull-headed god. Behind him stands Thoth, holding his reed and pallet. Ani paddling a boat. Ani addressing a hawk, before which are a table of offerings, 3 ovals, and the legend, being at peace in the field of peace, and having air for the nostrils. 2. Ani reaping corn. Ani driving the oxen which tread out the corn. Ani addressing or adoring a Bennu bird perched on a stand. Ani seated holding the Kerp scepter. A heap of red and a heap of white corn. 3 kas and 3 kus, which are perhaps to be read the food of the kus, and 3 pools. 3. Ani plowing a field near a stream which contains neither fish nor serpents. 4. The birthplace of the god of the city. An island on which is a flight of steps, a region called the place of the kus, who are 7 cubits high. The wheat is 3 cubits high, and it is the Sahu who have become perfect, who reap it. The region Ashet, the god who dwelleth therein, being Unifer. A boat with 8 oars, lying at the end of a canal, and a boat floating on a canal. The name of the first boat is Bahutu Tcheser, and the name of the second Tchefau. In the papyrus of Nebseni are 2 scenes, one on each side of Sekhet Hetepet, or the Elysian Fields. In the first, A. Nebseni stands with both hands raised in adoration, and adores the company of the gods who dwell in Sekhet Hetep, saying, homage to you, O ye lords of food. I have come in peace to your field to receive Tchefau food. Grant ye that I may come to the great god daily, and grant that I may attain to the offerings, that is to say, to the cakes and ale and oxen and ducks and bread which are offered unto his ka. The 3 short lines of hieroglyphics B in front of Nebseni read, Nebseni, the lord of reverence, the scribe and artist in the temples of the south and of the north, ascribeth praise to the company of the gods, and adoreth the great god. In the second scene, Nebseni is standing upright, and a youth is pouring a libation over him. At the same time, another youth is bringing to him an offering of raiment. The text above him, C, reads, may the god Osiris and all the company of the gods who dwell in Sekhet Hetep grant offerings of cakes and ale and oxen and ducks and bread, and all good things, and linen garments, and incense each day, and an offering on the altar each day, and the receiving of cakes of various kinds, and milk and wine, and Tchefau food, and the following of the god at his coming forth during his festivals of Restau, along with the favoured ones of the great god to the ka of the scribe Nebseni, etc. Text. Here begin the chapters of Sekhet Hetepet, and the chapters of coming forth by day, of going into and of coming out from the underworld, of coming to Sekhet Aaru, of being in Sekhet Hetepet, the mighty land, the lady of winds, of having power there, of becoming a khu there, of plowing there, of reaping there, of eating there, of drinking there, of making love there, and of doing everything even as a man doeth upon earth. Behold the scribe and artist of the temple of Ptah, Nebseni, who saith, Set hath taken possession of Horus, who looked with the 2 eyes upon the building round Sekhet Hetep, but I have unfettered Horus, and taken him from Set, and Set hath opened the ways of the 2 eyes which are in heaven. Set hath cast his moisture to the winds upon the soul that hath his day or his eye, and who dwelleth in the city of Mert, and he hath delivered the interior of the body of Horus from the gods of Akert. Behold me now, for I make this mighty boat to travel over the lake of Hetep, and I brought it away with might from the palace of Shu. The domain of his stars groweth young, and reneweth its former strength. I have brought the boat into the lakes thereof, so that I may come forth into the cities thereof, and I have sailed into their divine city Hetep. And behold, it is because I, even I, am at peace with his seasons, and with his guidance, and with his territory, and with the company of the gods who are his firstborn, he maketh the two divine fighters, that is, Horus and Set, to be at peace with those who watch over the living ones whom he hath created in fair form, and he bringeth peace with him. He maketh the two divine fighters to be at peace with those who watch over them. He cutteth off the hair from the divine fighters, he driveth away storm from the helpless, and he keepeth away harm from the Khus. Let me gain dominion within that field, for I know it, and I have sailed among its lakes so that I might come into its cities. My mouth is strong, and I am equipped with weapons to use against the Khus. Let them not have dominion over me. Let me be rewarded with thy fields, O thou god Hetep. That which is thy wish shalt thou do, O Lord of the winds. May I become a Khu therein. May I eat therein. May I drink therein. May I plow therein. May I reap therein. May I fight therein. May I make love therein. May my words be mighty therein. May I never be in a state of servitude therein, but may I be in authority therein. Thou hast made strong the mouth and the throat of the god Hetep. Ketebu is its name. He is stablished upon the watery supports of the god Shu, and is linked unto the pleasant things of Ra. He is the divider of years. He is hidden of mouth. His mouth is silent. That which he uttereth is secret. He fulfilleth eternity, and taketh possession of everlastingness of existence, as Hetep, the Lord Hetep. The god Horus maketh himself to be strong like unto the hawk, which is 1,000 cubits in length, and 2,000 cubits in width. In life he hath equipments with him, and he journeyeth on, and cometh where the seat of his heart wisheth, in the pools thereof, and in the cities thereof. He was begotten in the birth chamber of the god of the city. He hath offerings made unto him of the food of the god of the city. He performeth that which it is meet to do therein, and the union thereof, in the matter of everything of the birth chamber of the divine city. When he setteth in life like crystal, he performeth everything therein, and these things are like unto the things which are done in the lake of double fire, wherein there is none that rejoiceth, and wherein are all manner of evil things. The god Hetep goeth in, and cometh out, and goeth backwards in that field which gathereth together all manner of things for the birth chamber of the god of the city. When he setteth in life like crystal, he performeth all manner of things therein, which are like unto the things which are done in the lake of double fire, wherein there is none that rejoiceth, and wherein are no evil things whatsoever. Let me live with the god Hetep, clothed and not despoiled by the lords of the north. And may the lords of divine things bring food unto me. May he make me to go forward, and may I come forth, and may he bring my power to me there, and may I receive it, and may my equipment be from the god Hetep. May I gain the mastery over the great and mighty word which is in my body, in this my place, and by it I will remember, and I will forget. Let me go forward on my journey, and let me plow. I am at peace in the divine city, and I know the waters, cities, nomes, and lakes which are in Sekhet Hetep. I exist therein, I am strong therein, I become a Khu therein, I eat therein, I sow seed therein, I reap the harvest therein, I plow therein, I make love therein, I am at peace with the god Hetep therein. Behold, I scatter seed therein, I sail about among its lakes, and I come forward to the cities thereof. O divine Hetep, behold, my mouth is equipped with my horns for teeth. Grant me an overflowing supply of the food whereon the Kas and Khus live. I have passed the judgment of Shu upon him that knoweth him, so that I may go forth to the cities thereof, and may sail about among its lakes, and may walk about in Sekhet Hetep. And behold, Ra is in heaven, and behold, the god Hetep is its double offering. I have come onward to its land. I have put on my girdle. I have come forth so that the gifts which are about to be given unto me may be given. I have made gladness for myself. I have laid hold upon my strength, which the god Hetep hath greatly increased for me. O Unen em Hetep, I have entered into thee, and my soul followeth after me, and my divine food is upon both my hands. O Lady of the two lands, who stablishest my word whereby I remember and forget. I would live without injury, without any injury being done unto me. O grant to me, O do thou grant to me joy of heart. Make thou me to be a peace. Bind thou up my sinews and muscles, and make me to receive the air. O Unen en Hetep, thou Lady of the winds, I have entered into thee, and I have opened, that is, shown my head. Ra falleth asleep, but I am awake, and there is the goddess Hast at the gate of heaven by night. Obstacles have been set before me, but I have gathered together what he hath emitted. I am in my city, O Nut Urt. I have entered into thee, and I have counted my harvest, and I go forward to Uak. I am the bull enveloped in turquoise, the lord of the field of the bull, the lord of the divine speech of the goddess Septet, Sothis, at her hours. O Uak, I have entered into thee. I have eaten my bread. I have gotten the mastery over choice pieces of the flesh of oxen and of feathered fowl, and the birds of Shu have been given unto me. I follow after the gods, and I come after the divine cause. O Tchet Fet, I have entered into thee. I array myself in apparel, and I gird myself with the Sa garment of Ra. Now behold, he is in heaven, and those who dwell therein follow Ra, and I follow Ra in heaven. O Unen em Hetep, Lord of the two lands, I have entered into thee, and I have plunged into the lakes of Tchetsert. Behold me, for all filth hath departed from me. The great God groweth therein, and behold, I have found food therein. I have snared feathered fowl, and I feed upon the finest of them. O Kentet, I have entered into thee, and I have seen the Osiris, my father, and I have gazed upon my mother, and I have made love. I have caught the worms and serpents, and I am delivered, and I know the name of the god who is opposite to the goddess Tchetsert, and who hath straight hair, and is equipped with two horns. He reapeth, and I both plow and reap. O Hast, I have entered into thee. I have driven back those who would come to the turquoise sky, and I have followed the winds of the company of the gods. The great God hath given my head unto me, and he who hath bound on me my head is the mighty one who hath turquoise eyes, namely Ari on Abet, that is, he doeth as he pleaseth. O Usert, I have come into thee at the head of the house wherein divine food is brought for me. O Smam, I have come into thee. My heart watcheth. My head is equipped with the white crown. I am led into celestial regions, and I make to flourish terrestrial objects. And there is joy of heart for the bull, and for celestial beings, and for the company of the gods. I am the god who is the bull, the lord of the gods, as he goeth forth from the turquoise sky. O divine nome of wheat and barley, I have come into thee. I have come forward to thee, and I have taken up that which followeth me, namely the best of the libations of the company of the gods. I have tied up my boat in the celestial lakes. I have lifted up the post at which to anchor. I have recited the prescribed words with my voice, and I have ascribed praises unto the gods who dwell in Sekhet Hetep. End of chapters 101 through 110. Chapters 111 through 120 of the Egyptian Book of the Dead by E. A. Wallis Budge. Chapter 111. In the Theban Recension, this chapter has not as yet been found. In the Sa'ite Recension, it is called the chapter of knowing the souls of pay, but an examination of the text shows that it is identical with that of chapter 108. It has no vignette. Chapter 112. Vignette: the gods Horus, hawk-headed, Meshtha, and Hapi seated. Text: another chapter of knowing the souls of pay, The overseer of the palace, the chancellor-in-chief, Nu, triumphant, saith, Hail, Kot, who dwelleth in Kot, in Anpet, and in the nome of Kot. Hail, ye goddesses of the chase, who dwell in the city of Pe, ye celestial lands, ye stars, and ye divine beings, who give cakes and ale. Do ye know for what reason the city of Pe hath been given unto Horus? I, even I, know, though ye know it not. Behold, Ra gave the city unto him in return for the injury in his eye, for which cause Ra said to Horus, Let me see what is coming to pass in thine eye, and forthwith he looked thereat. Then Ra said to Horus, Look at that black pig, and he looked, and straightway an injury was done unto his eye, namely, a mighty storm took place. Then said Horus unto Ra, Verily my eye seems as if it were an eye upon which Suti had inflicted a blow, and thus saying he ate his heart. Then said Ra to those gods, Place ye him in his chamber, and he shall do well. Now the black pig was Suti, who had transformed himself into a black pig, and he it was who had aimed the blow of fire which was in the eye of Horus. Then said Ra unto those gods, The pig is an abominable thing unto Horus. Oh, but he shall do well, although the pig is an abomination unto him. Then the company of the gods, who were among the divine followers of Horus when he existed in the form of his own child, said, Let sacrifices be made to the gods of his bulls, and of his goats, and of his pigs. Now the father of Mesthi, Hapi, Tuamautef, and Qebhennuf is Horus, and their mother is Isis. Then said Horus to Ra, Give me 2 divine brethren in the city of Pe, and 2 divine brethren in the city of Nekhen, who have sprung from my body, and who shall be with me in the guise of everlasting judges. Then shall the earth blossom, and thunder clouds and rain be blotted out. And the name of Horus became Her Uachf, that is, prince of his emerald stone. I, even I, know the souls of Pe, namely Horus, Mesthi, and Hapi. Chapter 113. Vignette: The gods Horus, Tuamautef, and Qebhennuf. Text: The chapter of knowing the souls of Nekhen. The overseer of the palace, the chancellor-in-chief, Nu, triumphant, saith, I know the hidden things of the city of Nekhen, that is to say, the things which the mother of Horus did for him, and how she made her voice to go forth over the waters, saying, Speak ye unto me concerning the judgment which is upon me, and show me the path behind you, and let me discover it. And how Ra said, This son of Isis hath perished, and what the mother of Horus did for him when she cried out, saying, Sebek, the lord of the papyrus swamp, shall be brought to us. And Sebek fished for them, and he found them, and the mother of Horus made them to grow in the places to which they belonged. Then Sebek, the lord of his papyrus swamp, said, I went and I found the place where they had passed with my fingers on the edge of the waters, and I enclosed them in my net, and strong was that net. And Ra said, So then there are fish with the god Sebek, and he hath found the hands and arms of Horus for him in the land of fish. And that land became the land of the city of Remu, that is, fish. And Ra said, A land of the pool to this net. Then were the hands of Horus brought to him at the uncovering of his face at the festivals of the month and half month in the land of Remu. And Ra said, I give the city of Nekhen to Horus for the habitation of his 2 arms and hands, and his face shall be uncovered before his 2 hands and arms in the city of Nekhen. And I give unto his power the slaughtered beings who are in them at the festivals of the month and half month. Then Horus said, Let me carry off Tuamautef and Qebhennuf, and let them watch over my body, and if they are allowed to be there, then shall they be subservient to the god of the city of Nekhen. And Ra said, It shall be granted unto thee there, and in the city of Senket, that is, Sati. And there shall be done for them what hath been done for those who dwell in the city of Nekhen, and verily they shall be with thee. And Horus said, They have been with thee, and now they shall be with me, and shall hearken unto the god Suti when he calleth upon the souls of Nekhen. Grant to me that I, even I, may pass on to the souls of Nekhen, and that I may unloose the bonds of Horus. I, even I, know the souls of Nekhen, namely, Horus, Tuamautef, and Qeb Senuf. Chapter 114. Vignette: Three ibis-headed gods. In the Sa'ite Recension, the deceased is standing with both hands raised in adoration before the gods Thoth, Sa, and Tem. Text: The chapter of knowing the souls of Kemenu, Hermopolis. The goddess Maat is carried by the arm at the shining of the goddess Neith in the city of Mentchat, and at the shining of the eye when it is weighed. I am carried over by it, and I know what it bringeth from the city of Kesi, and I will neither declare it unto men nor tell it unto the gods. I have come, being the envoy of Ra, to stablish Maat upon the arm at the shining of Neith in the city of Mentchat, and to adjudge the eye to him that shall scrutinize it. I have come as a power, through the knowledge of the souls of Kemenu, Hermopolis, who love to know what ye love. I know Maat, which hath germinated, and hath become strong, and hath been judged, and I have joy in passing judgment upon the things which are to be judged. Homage to you, O ye souls of Kemenu! I, even I, know the things which are unknown on the festivals of the month and half-month. Ra knoweth the hidden things of the night, and know ye that it is Thoth who hath made me to have knowledge. Homage to you, O ye souls of Kemenu, since I know you each day. Chapter 115. Vignette: In the papyrus of Nu. This chapter has no vignette. In the Sa'ite Recension, the deceased is standing with both hands raised in adoration before the gods Ra, Shu, and Tefnut. Text: The chapter of coming forth from heaven, and of making a way through the Amenhet, and of knowing the souls of Annu, Heliopolis. The Chancellor in Chief, Nu, triumphant, saith: I have passed the day since yesterday among the great divine beings, and I have come into being along with the god Khepera. My face is uncovered before the Eye, the only One, and the orbit of the night hath been opened. I am a divine being among you. I know the souls of Annu. Shall not the god Ma pass over it as he journeyeth forward with vigor? Have I not overcome, and have I not spoken to the gods? Behold, he that is the heir of Annu hath been destroyed. I, even I, know for what reason was made the lock of hair of the man. Ra spake unto the god Amihaf, and an injury was done unto his mouth, that is to say, he was wounded in that mouth. And Ra spake unto the god Amihaf, saying, O heir of men, receive thy harpoon. And the harpoon house came into being. Behold, O god Amihaf, two divine brethren have come into being, that is to say, Senti Ra came into being, and Setem Ansi F came into being, and his hand stayed not, and he made his form into that of a woman with a lock of hair, which became the divine lock in Annu, and which became the strong and mighty one in this temple. And it became the strong one of Annu, and it became the heir of Maat, that is, the mighty one of the two eyes. And it became before him the god Irma of Annu. I know the souls of Annu, namely, Ra, Shu, and Tefnut. Chapter 116. Vignette: The deceased adoring three ibis-headed gods. In the Sa'ite Recension, the deceased is standing with both hands raised in adoration before the gods Thoth, Sa, and Tem. Text: Another chapter of knowing the souls of Kemenu, Hermopolis. The Chancellor in Chief, Nu, triumphant, saith: The goddess Neith shineth in Matchat, and the goddess Maat is carried by the arm of him who eateth the eye, and who is its divine judge. And the Sem priest carrieth me over upon it. I will not declare it unto men, and I will not tell it unto the gods. I will not declare it unto men, and I will not tell it unto the gods. I have entered in being an ignorant man, and I have seen the hidden things. Homage to you, O ye gods who dwell in Kemenu. Ye know me even as I know the goddess Neith, and ye give to the eye the growth which endureth. There is joy to me at the judgment of the things which are to be judged. I, even I, know the souls of Anu. They are great at the festival of the month, and are little at the festival of the half-month. They are Thoth, the hidden one, and Sa and Tem. Rubric. If this chapter be known by the deceased, awful shall be an abomination unto him, and he shall not drink filthy water. Chapter 117. Vignette: the deceased holding a staff in his left hand, about to walk up one side of a hill of the horizon. In the Saite Recension, the god Anubis is leading the deceased to a shrine which is set on a hill. Text: the chapter of receiving paths whereon to walk in Re style. The Chancellor in Chief, Nu, triumphant, saith: The paths which are above me lead to Re style. I am he who is girt about with his girdle, and who cometh forth from the goddess of Ureret crown. I have come, and I have stablished things in Abtu (Abydos), and I have opened out paths in Re style. The god Osiris hath eased my pains. I am he who maketh the waters to come into being, and who setteth his throne thereon, and who maketh his path through the funeral valley and through the great lake. I have made my path, and indeed I am Osiris. Osiris was victorious over his enemies, and the Osiris Nebket is victorious over his enemies. He hath become as one of yourselves, O ye gods. His protector is the Lord of eternity. He walketh even as ye walk. He standeth even as ye stand. He sitteth even as ye sit. And he talketh even as ye talk, in the presence of the great God, the Lord of Amentet. Chapter 118. Vignette: the deceased holding a staff in his left hand. In the Saite Recension, this chapter has no vignette. Text: the chapter of coming forth from Re style. The Chancellor in Chief, Nu, triumphant, saith: I was born in Re style, and splendor hath been given unto me by those who dwell in their spiritual bodies, Sahu, in the habitation where libations are made unto Osiris. The divine ministers who are in Re style shall receive me when Osiris is led into the twofold funeral region of Osiris. O let me be a divine being whom they shall lead into the twofold funeral region of Osiris. Chapter 119. Vignette: the deceased adoring the god Osiris, who stands in a shrine. In the Saite Recension, the deceased is walking away from a shrine which is set upon a hill. Text: the chapter of coming forth from Re style. The Chancellor in Chief, Nu, triumphant, saith: I am the great god who maketh his light. I have come to thee, O Osiris, and I offer praise unto thee. I am pure from the issues which are carried away from thee. Thy name is made in Re style, and thy power is in Abtu (Abydos). Thou art raised up, then, O Osiris, and thou goest round about through heaven with Ra, and thou lookest upon the generations of men. O thou one who circlest, thou Ra, behold, verily, I have said unto thee, O Osiris, I am the spiritual body of the god, and I say, let it come to pass that I shall never be repulsed before thee, O Osiris. The following is the chapter in a fuller form. The chapter of knowing the name of Osiris, and of entering into and of going out from Re style, in all the forms wherein he willeth to come forth. The scribe Mesemneter, triumphant, saith: I am the great name who maketh his light. I have come to thee, O Osiris, and I offer praise unto thee. I am pure from the issues which are carried away from thee. Thy name hath been made in Re style when it hath fallen therein. Homage to thee, O Osiris, in thy strength and in thy power. Thou hast obtained the mastery in Re style. Thou art raised up, O Osiris, in thy might and in thy power. Thou art raised up, O Osiris, and thy might is in Re style, and thy power is in Abtu (Abydos). thou goest round about through heaven, and thou sailest before Ra, and thou lookest upon the generations of men. O thou being who circlest, thou Ra, behold, verily, I have said unto thee, O Osiris, I am the spiritual body of the god. And I say, let it come to pass that I shall never be repulsed before thee, O Osiris. Chapter 120. Vignette. This chapter is without a vignette both in the Theban and Sa'ite recensions. Text. In the Sa'ite recension, this chapter is given twice. End of chapters 111 through 120. Chapters 121 through 130 of the Egyptian Book of the Dead by E. A. Wallis Budge. Chapters 121 through 130. Chapter 121. Vignette. This chapter is without a vignette both in the Theban and Sa'ite recensions. Text. In the Sa'ite recension, this chapter is given twice. Chapter 122. Vignette. The Papyrus of Nu is the only document containing the Theban recension which is known at present to give a text of this chapter, but it is without a vignette. In the Sa'ite recension, the deceased is bowing before a shrine which is set upon a hill. Text. The chapter of going in after coming forth from the underworld. The overseer of the palace, the chancellor in chief, Nu, triumphant, saith, Open unto me. Who then art thou? Whither goest thou? What is thy name? I am one of you. Assembler of souls is the name of my boat. Making the hair to stand on end is the name of the oars. Watchful one is the name of its bows. Evil is it is the name of the rudder. Steering straight for the middle is the name of the machabet. So likewise the boat is a type of my sailing onward to the pool. Let there be given unto me vessels of milk, together with cakes and loaves of bread, and cups of drink, and pieces of meat in the temple of Anpu, or, as others say, grant thou me these things wholly. Let it be so done unto me that I may enter in like a hawk, and that I may come forth like the Bennu bird, and like the morning star. Let me make my path so that I may go in peace into the beautiful Amentet, and let the lake of Osiris be mine. Let me make my path, and let me enter in, and let me adore Osiris, the Lord of life. Chapter 123 or 139. Vignette. The deceased or his soul standing before a palace or shrine. In the Sa'ite recension, this chapter has no vignette. Text. The chapter of entering into the great house. The overseer of the palace, the chancellor in chief, Nu, triumphant, saith, Homage to thee, O Thoth. I am Thoth, who have weighed the two divine fighters, that is, Horus and Set. I have destroyed their warfare, and I have diminished their wailings. I have delivered the Atu fish in his turning back, and I have performed that which thou didst order concerning him, and afterwards I lay down within my eye. I am he who hath been without opposition. I have come. Do thou look upon me in the temple of Nemhra, or Uhemhra. I give commands in the words of the divine aged ones, and moreover I guide for thee the lesser deities. Chapter 124. Vignette. The deceased adoring Meshthahapi, Tu'amaltef, and Kebsenuf. Text. The chapter of going into the presence of the divine sovereign princes of Osiris. The overseer of the palace, the chancellor in chief, Nu, triumphant, saith, My soul hath built for me a habitation in the city of Tatu. I sow seed in the city of Pe, and I plough my field with my laborers, and for this reason my palm tree is like Amsu. That which is an abomination unto me, that which is an abomination unto me, I shall not eat. That which is an abomination unto me, that which is an abomination unto me is filth. I shall not eat thereof. By sepulchral meals and food I shall not be destroyed. The abominable thing I shall not take into my hands. I shall not walk upon it in my sandals, because my cakes are made of white grain, and my ale is made of red grain. And behold, the Sektet boat and the Matet boat bring them to me, and I eat thereof under the branches of the trees, the beautiful arms of which I know. O let splendor be prepared for me with the white crown which is lifted up upon me by the Uraei goddesses. Hail, thou guardian of the divine doors of the god Sehetep Taui, that is, he who maketh the world to be at peace. Bring thou to me that of which they make sepulchral meals. Grant thou that I may lift up the branches. May the God of light open to me his arms, and may the company of the gods keep silence, whilst the denizens of heaven talk with the Chancellor in Chief, Nu triumphant. I am the leader of the hearts of the gods which strengthen me, and I am a mighty one among the divine beings. If any god or any goddess shall come forth against me, he shall be judged by the ancestors of the year who live upon hearts, and who make cakes for me, and Osiris shall devour him at his coming forth from Abtu Abydos. He shall be judged by the ancestors of Ra, and he shall be judged by the God of light, who clotheth heaven among the divine princes. I shall have bread in my mouth at stated seasons, and I shall enter in before the gods Ahiu. He shall speak with me, and I shall speak with the followers of the gods. I shall speak with the disk, and I shall speak with the denizens of heaven. I shall put the terror of myself into the blackness of night, which is in the goddess Maert, who is near him that dwelleth in might. And behold, I shall be there with Osiris. My condition of completeness shall be his condition of completeness among the divine princes. I shall speak unto him with the words of men, and he shall repeat unto me the words of the gods. A Khu who is equipped with power shall come. I am a Khu who is equipped with power. I am equipped with the power of all the Khus, being the form of the Sahu, that is, spiritual bodies, of Anu, Tatu, Satin Benen, Abtu, Apu, and Senu. The Osiris of Alf Ankh is victorious over every god and every goddess who are hidden in Neter Kertet. Chapter 125. The 125th chapter consists of 3 parts: the introduction, the negative confession, and a concluding text. The introduction was said when the deceased arrived at the hall of double Maati. The negative confession was recited by him before the 42 gods who were in this hall, and the concluding text when he came into the underworld. The introduction. Vignette. The god Osiris, bearded and wearing the white crown, stands in a shrine, the roof of which is surmounted by a hawk's head and by uraei. He holds the usual emblems of sovereignty and domination. Behind him is the goddess Isis, and before him, standing upon a lotus flower, are the 4 children of Horus: Mestha, Hapi, Tu Amalteth, and Keb-Senuf. Vignette. Ani and his wife, Thu, standing with hands raised in adoration of Osiris before a table of offerings. Text: the chapter of entering into the hall of double Maati, a hymn of praise to Osiris, the governor of Amentet. Osiris, the scribe Ani, triumphant, saith: I have come, and I have drawn nigh to see thy beauties. My hands are raised in adoration of thy name, right and truth. I came, and I drew nigh unto the place where the acacia tree groweth not, where the tree thick with leaves existeth not, and where the ground yieldeth neither herb nor grass. Then I entered into the hidden place, and I spake with the god Set, and my protector advanced to me, and his face was clothed or covered, and he fell upon the hidden things. He entered into the temple of Osiris, and he looked upon the hidden things which were therein, and the sovereign chiefs of the pylons were in the form of Khus. And the god Anpu spake to those who were on both sides of him with the speech of a man as he came from Ta Mera. He knoweth our paths and our cities. I make offerings, and I smell the odor of him as if he were one among you. And I say unto him, I am Osiris, the scribe Ani, triumphant in peace, triumphant. I have come, and I have drawn nigh to see the great gods, and I feed upon the offerings which are among their food. I have been to the borders of the territory of Ba Neb Tetep, that is, the soul, the lord of Tatu, or Osiris, and he hath caused me to come forth like a Bennu bird, and to utter words. I have been in the water of the stream, and I have made offerings of incense. I have guided myself to the Shentet tree of the divine children. I have been in Abu, or Abu, that is elephantine, in the temple of the goddess Satet. I have submerged the boat of mine enemies, whilst I myself have sailed over the lake in the Neshmet boat. I have seen the Sahu, that is, the spiritual bodies, in the city of Khem-ur. I have been in the city of Tatu, and I have brought myself to silence therein. I have caused the god to have the mastery over his 2 feet. I have been in the temple of Tep-tu-F, that is, he that is on his hill, or Anubis, and I have seen him that is lord of the divine temple. I have entered into the temple of Osiris, and I have arrayed myself in the apparel of him that is therein. I have entered into Re Stau, and I have seen the hidden things which are therein. I was shrouded therein, but I found a way for myself. I have gone into the city of An Araret, that is, the place where nothing groweth, and I covered my nakedness with the garments which were therein. There was given unto me the anti unguent, such as women use along with the powder of human beings. Verily, Sut hath spoken unto me the things which concern himself, and I said, let thy weighing be in us. The majesty of the god Anpu saith, knowest thou the name of this door, so as to declare it unto me? And Osiris, the scribe Ani, triumphant in peace, triumphant, saith, destroyer of the god Shu is the name of this door. The majesty of the god Anpu saith, knowest thou the name of the upper leaf and of the lower leaf, lord of Maat? Upon his 2 feet is the name of the upper leaf, and lord of twofold strength, the subduer of cattle, is the name of the lower leaf. The majesty of the god Anpu saith, since thou knowest, pass on, O Osiris, the scribe, the teller of the divine offerings of all the gods of Thebes, Ani triumphant, the lord of reverence. The introduction. Vignette: the deceased and his wife standing with both hands raised in adoration. Text: the following shall be said when the overseer of the palace, the chancellor in chief, Nu, triumphant, cometh forth into the hall of double Maati, so that he may be separated from every sin which he hath done, and may behold the faces of the gods. The Osiris Nu, triumphant, saith: Homage to thee, O great God, thou Lord of double Maati. I have come to thee, O my Lord, and I brought myself hither that I may behold thy beauties. I know thee, and I know thy name, and I know the names of the 42 gods who exist with thee in this hall of double Maati, who live as warders of sinners, and who feed upon their blood on the day when the lives of men are taken into account in the presence of the god Un Nefer. In truth, Rekti Merteneb Maati, that is, twin sisters with 2 eyes, ladies of double Maati, is thy name. In truth, I have come to thee, and I have brought Maat, that is, right and truth, to thee, and I have destroyed wickedness for thee. I have not done evil to mankind. I have not oppressed the members of my family. I have not wrought evil in the place of right and truth. I have had no knowledge of worthless men. I have not wrought evil. I have not made to be the first consideration of each day that excessive labor should be performed for me. I have not brought forward my name for exaltation to honors. I have not ill-treated servants. I have not thought scorn of God. I have not defrauded the oppressed one of his property. I have not done that which is an abomination unto the gods. I have not caused harm to be done to the servant by his chief. I have not caused pain. I have made no man to suffer hunger. I have made no one to weep. I have done no murder. I have not given the order for murder to be done for me. I have not inflicted pain upon mankind. I have not defrauded the temples of their oblations. I have not purloined the cakes of the gods. I have not carried off the cakes offered to the Khus. I have not committed fornication. I have not polluted myself in the holy places of the God of my city, nor diminished from the bushel. I have neither added to nor filched away land. I have not encroached upon the fields of others. I have not added to the weights of the scales to cheat the seller. I have not misread the pointer of the scales to cheat the buyer. I have not carried away the milk from the mouths of children. I have not driven away the cattle which were upon their pastures. I have not snared the feathered fowl of the preserves of the gods. I have not caught fish with bait made of fish of their kind. I have not turned back the water at the time when it should flow. I have not cut a cutting in a canal of running water. I have not extinguished a fire or a light when it should burn. I have not violated the times of offering, the chosen meat offerings. I have not driven off the cattle from the property of the gods. I have not repulsed God in his manifestations. I am pure, I am pure, I am pure, I am pure. My purity is the purity of that great Bennu, which is in the city of Sutenhenen, Heracleopolis. For behold, I am the nose of the god of the winds, who maketh all mankind to live on the day when the eye, Uchat of Ra, is full in Anu, Heliopolis, at the end of the second month of the season Pert, that is, the season of growing, in the presence of the divine Lord of this earth. I have seen the eye of Ra when it was full in Anu. Therefore let not evil befall me in this land and in this hall of double Ma'ati, because I, even I, know the names of these gods who are therein, and who are the followers of the great God. The negative confession. Vignette: the hall of double Ma'ati, that is to say, the hall of the goddesses Isis and Nephthys, who symbolize right and truth. Herein are seated or stand 42 gods, to each of whom the deceased must address a prescribed negative statement. At each end is one half of a folding door, one having the name of Neb Ma'at Heri Tef Retuif, and the other Neb Peti Kesu Men Menet. On the center of the roof, which has a cornice of Uriai, typifying divinity, and feathers, symbolic of Maat, is a seated deity, painted bluish green, with hands extended, the right over the eye of Horus and the left over a pool. At the end of the hall are 4 small vignettes in which are depicted the Maati goddesses, each seated upon a throne and holding a scepter in her right hand and the emblem of life in her left. The deceased, arrayed in white, standing before the god Osiris with both hands raised in adoration, a balance with the heart, symbolizing the conscience of the deceased, in one scale, and the feather emblematic of right and truth in the other. The god Anubis is testing the tongue of the balance, and close by stands the monster Ammet. Thoth, ibis-headed, seated upon a pylon-shaped pedestal, painting a large feather of Maat. Text: the scribe Nebseni, triumphant, saith: 1. Hail, thou whose strides are long, who comest forth from Anu, Heliopolis, I have not done iniquity. 2. Hail, thou who art embraced by flame, who comest forth from Kher Aba, I have not robbed with violence. 3. Hail, thou divine nose, Fenti, who comest forth from Kemenu, Hermopolis, I have not done violence to any man. 4. Hail, thou who eatest shades, who comest forth from the place where the Nile riseth, I have not committed theft. 5. Hail, Naha Hau, who comest forth from Restau, I have not slain man or woman. 6. Hail, thou double-lying God, who comest forth from heaven, I have not made light the bushel. 7. Hail, thou whose 2 eyes are like flint, who comest forth from Sechem Letopolis, I have not acted deceitfully. 8. Hail, thou flame, who comest forth as thou goest back, I have not purloined the things which belong unto God. 9. Hail, thou crusher of bones, who comest forth from Sutton Benin, Heracleopolis, I have not uttered falsehood. 10. Hail, thou who makest the flame to wax strong, who comest forth from Hetekapata, Memphis, I have not carried away food. 11. Hail, Kerti, that is, the 2 sources of the Nile, who come forth from Amentet, I have not uttered evil words. 12. Hail, thou whose teeth shine, who comest forth from Tashi, that is, the Fayum, I have attacked no man. 13. Hail, thou who dost consume blood, who comest forth from the house of slaughter, I have not killed the beasts which are the property of God. 14. Hail, thou who dost consume the entrails, who comest forth from the Mabit chamber, I have not acted deceitfully. 15. Hail, thou God of right and truth, who comest forth from the city of double Maati, I have not laid waste the lands which have been plowed. 16. Hail, thou who goest backwards, who comest forth from the city of Bubastis, I have never pried into matters to make mischief. 17. Hail, Aati, who comest forth from Anu, Heliopolis, I have not set my mouth in motion against any man. 18. Hail, thou who art doubly evil, who comest forth from the nome of Ati, I have not given way to wrath concerning myself without a cause. 19. Hail, thou serpent Ua Memti, who comest forth from the house of slaughter, I have not defiled the wife of a man. 20. Hail, thou who lookest upon what is brought to him, who comest forth from the temple of Amsu, I have not committed any sin against purity. 21. Hail, chief of the divine princes, who comest forth from the city of Nahatu, I have not struck fear into any man. 22. Hail, Kemiu, that is, destroyer, who comest forth from the lake of Kaui, I have not encroached upon sacred times and seasons. 23. Hail, thou who orderest speech, who comest forth from Urit, I have not been a man of anger. 24. Hail, thou child, who comest forth from the lake of Hekut, I have not made myself deaf to the words of right and truth. 25. Hail, thou disposer of speech, who comest forth from the city of Unis, I have not stirred up strife. 26. Hail, Basti, who comest forth from the secret city, I have made no man to weep. 27. Hail, thou whose face is turned backwards, who comest forth from the dwelling, I have not committed acts of impurity, neither have I lain with men. 28. Hail, leg of fire, who comest forth from Akaku, I have not eaten my heart. 29. Hail, Kenemti, who comest forth from the city of Kenemet, I have abused no man. 30. Hail, thou who bringest thine offering, who comest forth from the city of Sais, I have not acted with violence. 31. Hail, thou God of faces, who comest forth from the city of Techephet, I have not judged hastily. 32. Hail, thou who givest knowledge, who comest forth from Unth, I have not, and I have not taken vengeance upon the God. 33. Hail, thou Lord of 2 horns, who comest forth from Satiu, I have not multiplied my speech overmuch. 34. Hail, Nefertem, who comest forth from Hetkapatah, Memphis, I have not acted with deceit, and I have not worked wickedness. 35. Hail, Temset, who comest forth from Tatu, I have not uttered curses on the king. 36. Hail, thou whose heart doth labor, who comest forth from the city of Tebti, I have not fouled water. 37. Hail, Ahi of the water, who comest forth from Nu, I have not made haughty my voice. 38. Hail, thou who givest commands to mankind, who comest forth from Sau, I have not cursed the God. 39. Hail, Neheb Nefert, who comest forth from the lake of Nefer, I have not behaved with insolence. 40. Hail, Neheb Kau, who comest forth from thy city, I have not sought for distinctions. 41. Hail, thou whose head is holy, who comest forth from thy habitations. I have not increased my wealth, except with such things as are justly mine own possessions. 42. Hail, thou who bringest thine own arm, who comest forth from Alkert, underworld. I have not thought scorn of the God who is in my city. Address to the gods of the underworld. Vignette: the deceased standing with both hands raised in adoration. Text: Then shall the heart which is righteous and sinless say. The overseer of the palace, the chancellor in chief, Nu, triumphant, saith: Homage to you, O ye gods, who dwell in the hall of double Maati. I, even I, know you, and I know your names. Let me not fall under your knives of slaughter, and bring ye not forward my wickedness unto the God in whose train ye are, and let not evil hap come upon me by your means. O declare ye me right and true in the presence of Nebuchadnezzar, because I have done that which is right and true in Tamara, Egypt. I have not cursed God, and let not evil hap come upon me through the king who dwelleth in my day. Homage to you, O ye gods, who dwell in the hall of double Maati, who are without evil in your bodies, and who live upon right and truth, and who feed yourselves upon right and truth in the presence of the God Horus, who dwelleth in his divine disk. Deliver ye me from the god Baba, who feedeth upon the entrails of the mighty ones upon the day of the great judgment. O grant ye that I may come to you, for I have not committed faults, I have not sinned, I have not done evil, I have not borne false witness, therefore let nothing evil be done unto me. I live upon right and truth, and I feed upon right and truth. I perform the commandments of men, as well as the things whereat are gratified the gods. I have made the God to be at peace with me by doing that which is his will. I have given bread to the hungry man, and water to the thirsty man, and apparel to the naked man, and a boat to the shipwrecked mariner. I have made holy offerings to the gods, and sepulchral meals to the Khus. Be ye then my deliverers, be ye then my protectors, and make ye not accusation against me in the presence of the great God. I am clean of mouth and clean of hands, therefore let it be said unto me by those who shall behold me, come in peace, for I have heard that mighty word which the spiritual bodies, Sahu, spake unto the cat in the house of Hapt Re. I have been made to give evidence before the god Raph, that is, he whose face is behind him, and he hath given a decision concerning me. I have seen the things over which the Persea tree spreadeth its branches within Re stau. I am he who hath offered up prayers to the gods, and who knoweth their persons. I have come and I have advanced to make the declaration of right and truth, and to set the balance upon what supporteth it within the region of Alkert. Hail, thou who art exalted upon thy standard, thou Lord of the Atafu crown, whose name is proclaimed as the Lord of the winds. Deliver thou me from thy divine messengers, who cause dire deeds to happen, and who cause calamities to come into being, and who are without coverings for their faces. For I have done that which is right and true for the Lord of right and truth. I have purified myself and my breast with libations, and my hinder parts with the things which make clean, and my inner parts have been in the pool of right and truth. There is no single member of mine which lacketh right and truth. I have been purified in the pool of the south, and I have rested in the northern city, which is in the field of the grasshoppers, wherein the divine sailors of Ra bathe at the second hour of the night, and at the third hour of the day. And the hearts of the gods are gratified after they have passed through it, whether it be by night or whether it be by day. And they say unto me, Let thyself come forward. And they say unto me, Who then art thou? And they say unto me, What is thy name? I am he who is equipped under the flowers, and I am the dweller in his olive tree, is my name. And they say unto me straightway, Pass thou on. And I passed on by the city to the north of the olive tree. What then didst thou see there? The leg and the thigh. What then didst thou say unto them? Let me see rejoicings in those lands of the Tenku. And what did they give unto thee? A flame of fire, and a tablet or scepter of crystal. What then didst thou do therewith? I buried them by the furrow of Maat as things for the night. What then didst thou find by the furrow of Maat? A scepter of flint, the name of which is giver of winds. What then didst thou do to the flame of fire and the tablet or scepter of crystal after thou hadst buried them? I uttered words over them in the furrow, and I dug them out therefrom. I extinguished the fire, and I broke the tablet or scepter, and I created a pool of water. Come then, they say, and enter in through the door of this hall of double Maati, for thou knowest us. We will not let thee enter in through us, say the bolts of the door, unless thou tellest us our names. Tongue of the balance, of the place of right and truth, is your name. I will not let thee enter in by me, saith the right lintel of the door, unless thou tellest me thy name. Balance of the support of right and truth is thy name. I will not let thee enter in by me, saith the left lintel of the door, unless thou tellest me my name. Balance of wine is thy name. I will not let thee pass over me, saith the threshold of this door, unless thou tellest me my name. Ox of the god Seb is thy name. I will not open unto thee, saith the fastening of this door, unless thou tellest me my name. Flesh of his mother is thy name. I will not open unto thee, saith the socket of the fastening of the door, unless thou tellest me my name. Living eye of the god Sebek, the lord of Bakhau, is thy name. I will not open unto thee, and I will not let thee enter in by me, saith the guardian of the leaf of this door, unless thou tellest me my name. Elbow of the god Shu, when he placeth himself to protect Osiris, is thy name. We will not let thee enter in by us, say the posts of this door, unless thou tellest us our names. Children of the Uri goddesses is your name. Thou knowest us, they say. Pass on therefore by us. I will not let thee tread upon me, saith the floor of the hall of double Maati, because I am silent and I am holy, and because I do not know the names of thy 2 feet wherewith thou wouldst walk upon me. Therefore tell them to me. Traveller of the god Kaz is the name of my right foot, and staff of the goddess Hathor is the name of my left foot. Thou knowest me, it saith. Pass on therefore over me. I will not make mention of thee, saith the guardian of the door of this hall of double Maati, unless thou tellest me my name. Discerner of hearts and searcher of the reins is thy name. Now will I make mention of thee to the god. But who is the god that dwelleth in his hour? Speak thou it. That is his name. Me'autawi, that is he who keepeth the record of the 2 lands, is his name. Who then is Me'autawi? He is Thoth. Come, saith Thoth. But why hast thou come? I have come, and I press forward that I may be mentioned. What now is thy condition? I, even I, am purified from evil things, and I am protected from the baleful deeds of those who live in their days, and I am not among them. Now will I make mention of thee to the god. Tell me now, who is he whose heaven is of fire, whose walls are surmounted by living uraei, and the floor of whose house is a stream of water? Who is he, I say? It is Osiris. Come forward then. Verily, thou shalt be mentioned to him. Thy cakes shall come from the Eye of Ra, and thine ale shall come from the Eye of Ra, and the sepulchral meals which shall be brought to thee upon earth shall come from the Eye of Ra. This hath been decreed for the Osiris, the overseer of the palace, the chancellor in chief, new triumphant. Rubric: the making of the representation of what shall happen in this hall of double Maati. This chapter shall be said by the deceased after he hath been cleansed and purified, and when he is arrayed in apparel, and is shod with white leather sandals, and his eyes have been painted with antimony, and his body hath been anointed with unguent of Anti, and when he offereth oxen and feathered fowl, and incense and cakes, and ale and garden herbs, and behold, thou shalt draw a representation of this in colour upon a new tile moulded from earth, upon which neither a pig nor other animals have trodden. And if thou doest this, book upon it in writing the deceased shall flourish, and his children shall flourish, and his name shall never fall into oblivion, and he shall be as one who filleth, that is, satisfieth the heart of the king and of his princes. And bread and cakes and sweetmeats and wine and pieces of flesh shall be given unto him upon the altar of the great God, and he shall not be turned back at any door in Amentet, and he shall be brought in along with the kings of Upper and Lower Egypt, and he shall be in the train of Osiris continually and regularly forever. Chapter 126. Vignette: a lake of fire, at each corner of which is seated a dog-headed ape. Text: the overseer of the palace, the chancellor in chief, Nu, triumphant, the son of the overseer of the palace, the chancellor in chief, Amen-hetep, triumphant, saith: Hail, ye 4 apes who sit in the bows of the boat of Ra, who convey right and truth to Neber-tchur, who sit in judgment on my misery and on my strength, who make the gods to rest contented by means of the flame of your mouths, and who offer holy offerings to the gods and sepulchral meals to the Khus, who live upon right and truth, and who feed upon right and truth of heart, who are without deceit and fraud, and to whom wickedness is an abomination. Do ye away with my evil deeds, and put ye away my sin, which deserves stripes upon earth, and destroy ye any evil whatsoever that belongeth unto me, and let there be no obstacle whatsoever on my part towards you. O grant ye that I may make my way through the underworld, Amahet. Let me enter into Re Stau, let me pass through the hidden pylons of Amentet. O grant that there may be given to me cakes and ale and sweetmeats, even as they are given to the living Khus, and grant that I may enter in and come forth from Re Stau. The 4 apes made answer, saying: Come, then, for we have done away with thy wickedness, and we have put away thy sin, along with the sin deserving of stripes which thou didst commit upon earth, and we have destroyed all the evil which belonged to thee upon the earth. Enter therefore into Re Stau, and pass thou through the hidden pylons of Amentet, and there shall be given unto thee cakes and ale and sweetmeats, and shalt come forth, and thou shalt enter in at thy desire, even as do those Khus who are favoured of the god, and thou shalt be proclaimed or called each day in the horizon. Chapter 127a. Vignette: this version of the 127th chapter has not yet been found in the papyri containing the Theban Recension. In the Sa'ite Recension, the deceased stands with both hands raised in adoration before a table of offerings placed in the presence of 6 gods, 3 standing upright and 3 seated, each of whom holds in his hands a flail and a scepter. The first god has the head of a bull, the second is jackal-headed, the third is snake-headed, the fourth is human-headed, the fifth is bull-headed, and the sixth is human-headed. The last 3 have feathers emblematic of right and truth on their heads. Text: the book of the praise of the gods of the Qerti, which a man shall recite when he cometh forth before them to enter in to see the god in the great temple of the underworld, and he shall say: Homage to you, O ye gods of the Qerti, ye divine dwellers in Amentet. Homage to you, O ye guardians of the doors of the underworld, who keep ward over the god, who bear and proclaim the names of those who come into the presence of the god Osiris, and who hold yourselves ready, and who praise him, and who destroy the enemies of Ra. O send ye forth your light, and scatter ye the darkness which is about you, and behold ye the holy and divine mighty one, O ye who live even as he liveth, and call ye upon him that dwelleth within his divine disk. Lead ye the king of the north and of the south, Usur Maat Ra Setep and Amen, the son of the sun, Ramzes Meri Aman Ra Bek Maat. Through your doors may his divine soul enter into your hidden places, for he is one among you, and he hath shot forth calamities upon the serpent fiend Apep, and he hath beaten down the obstacles which Apep set up in Amentet. Thy word hath prevailed mightily over thine enemies, O great God, who livest in thy divine disk. Thy word hath prevailed mightily over thine enemies, O Osiris, governor of Amentet. Thy word hath prevailed mightily over thine enemies in heaven and in earth, O thou king of the north and of the south, Usur Maat Ra Setep and Amen, the son of the Sun, Ramses, Mary, Amen, Ra, Hek, Maat, and over the sovereign princes of every god and of every goddess. O Osiris, governor of Amentet, he hath uttered words in the presence of the god in the valley of the dead, and he hath gained the mastery over the mighty sovereign princes. Hail, ye doorkeepers! Hail, ye doorkeepers who guard your gates, who punish souls, who devour the bodies of the dead, who advance over them at their examination in the places of destruction, who give right and truth to the soul and to the divine Khu, the beneficent one, the mighty one, whose throne is holy in Akert, who is endowed with soul like Ra, and who is praised like Osiris. Lead ye along, the king of the north and of the south. Usur Maat Ra Setep and Amen, the son of the sun, Ramses, Mary, Amen, Ra Hek, Maat. Unbolt ye for him the doors, and open ye the place of his Kerti for him. Behold, make ye his word to triumph over his enemies, and indeed let meat offerings and drink offerings be made unto him by the god of the double door, and let him put on the Nemes crown of him that dwelleth in the great and hidden shrine. Behold the image of Heru Khuti Harmachis, who is doubly true, and who is the divine soul and the divine and perfect Khu. He hath prevailed with his hands. The two great and mighty gods cry out to the king of the north and south. Usur Maat Ra Setep and Amen, the son of the sun, Ramses, Mary, Amen, Ra Hek, Maat. They rejoice in him, they sing praises to him, and clap their hands. They accord him their protection, and he liveth, the king of the north and south. Usur Maat Ra Setep and Amen, the son of the sun, Ramses, Mary, Amen, Ra Hek, Maat, riseth like a living soul in heaven. He hath been commanded to make his transformations. He hath made himself victorious before the divine sovereign chiefs, and he hath made his way through the gates of heaven, and of earth, and of the underworld, even as hath Ra, the king of the north and south. Usur Maat Ra Setep and Amen, the son of the sun, Ramses, Mary, Amen, Ra Hek, Maat, saith, Open unto me the gates of heaven and of earth and of the underworld, for I am the divine soul of Osiris, and I rest in him, and let me pass through their halls. Let the gods sing praises unto me when they see me. Let me enter, and let favor be shown unto me. Let me come forth, and let me be beloved, and let me go forward, for no defect or failing hath been found clinging unto me. Chapter 127b. Vignette: 16 gods in 4 groups, each containing 2 pairs. Before each group is a table of offerings. Text: Chapter to be recited on coming before the divine sovereign chiefs of Osiris to offer praise unto the gods who are the gods of the underworld. Osiris, the chief scribe and draftsman, Ptah triumphant, saith: Homage to you, O ye gods who dwell in the Kerti, ye gods who dwell in Amentet, who keep ward over the gates of the underworld, and are the guardians thereof, who bear and proclaim the names of those who come into the presence of Osiris, who praise him, and who destroy the enemies of Ra. O send forth your light, and scatter ye the darkness which is about you, and look upon the face of Osiris, O ye who live even as he liveth, and praise ye him that dwelleth in his disk, and lead ye me away from your calamities. Let me come forth, and let me enter in through your secret places, for I am a mighty prince among you, for I have done away with evil there, and I have beaten down the obstacles which have been set up in Amentet. Thou hast been victorious over thine enemies, O thou that dwellest in thy disk. Thou hast been victorious over thine enemies, O Thoth, who producest statutes. Thou hast been victorious over thy enemies, O Osiris, the chief scribe and draftsman, Ptah triumphant. Thou hast been triumphant over thine enemies, O Osiris, thou governor of Amentet, in heaven and upon earth, in the presence of the divine sovereign chiefs of every god and of every goddess. And the food of Osiris, the governor of Amentet, is in the presence of the god whose name is hidden before the great divine sovereign chiefs. Hail, ye guardians of the doors, ye gods who keep ward over their habitations, who keep the reckoning, and who commit souls to destruction, who grant right and truth to the divine soul which is stablished, who are without evil in the abode of Akert, who are endowed with soul even as is Ra, and who are as is Osiris. Guide ye Osiris, the chief scribe, the draughtsman, Ptah Mes, triumphant, open ye unto him the gates of the underworld, and the uppermost part of his estate and his court. Behold, make ye him to be victorious over his enemies. Provide ye him with the offerings of the god of the underworld. Make noble the divine being who dwelleth in the Nemes crown, the lord of the knowledge of Akert. Behold, stablish this soul in right and truth, and let it become a perfect soul that hath gained the mastery with its two hands. The great and mighty gods cry out, he hath gotten the victory, and they rejoice in him, and they ascribe praise unto him with their hands, and they turn unto him their faces. The living one is triumphant, and is even like a living soul dwelling in heaven, and he hath been ordered to perform his transformations. Osiris triumphed over his enemies, and Osiris, the chief scribe and draughtsman, Ptah Mes, triumphant, hath gained the victory over his enemies in the presence of the great divine sovereign chiefs who dwell in heaven, and in the presence of the great divine sovereign chiefs who dwell upon the earth. Chapter 129. Vignette: the deceased standing before a table of offerings with both hands raised in adoration in the presence of the gods Osiris, Isis, Horus, the son of Isis, and Nephthys. Text: a hymn of praise to Osiris. The Osiris Auf Ankh, triumphant, saith: Homage to thee, O Osiris Un Nefer, triumphant, thou son of Nut, thou firstborn son of Seb, thou mighty one who comest forth from Nut, thou king in the city of Nefer, thou governor of Amentet, thou lord of Abtu, Abydos, thou lord of souls, thou mighty one of strength, thou lord of the Atef crown in Sutton Benin, thou lord of the divine form in the city of Nifu thou lord of the tomb, thou mighty one of souls in Tatu, thou lord of sepulchral offerings, thou whose festivals are many in Tatu. The god Horus exalteth his father in every place or shrine, and he uniteth himself unto the goddess Isis and unto the goddess Nephthys, and the god Thoth reciteth for him the mighty glorifyings which are within him, and which come forth from his mouth, and the heart of Horus is stronger than that of all the gods. Rise up then, O Horus, thou son of Isis, and avenge thy father Osiris. Hail, O Osiris, I have come unto thee. I am Horus, and I have avenged thee, and I feed this day upon the sepulchral meals of oxen and feathered fowl, and upon all the beautiful things offered unto Osiris. Rise up then, O Osiris, for I have struck down for thee all thine enemies, and I have taken vengeance upon them for thee. I am Horus upon this beautiful day of thy fair rising in thy soul, which exalteth thee along with itself on this day before thy divine sovereign princes. Hail, O Osiris, thy Ka hath come unto thee and is with thee, and thou resteth therein in thy name of Ka Hetep. I maketh thee glorious in thy name of Khu, and it maketh thee like unto the morning star in thy name of Pehu, and it openeth for thee the ways in thy name of Apuat. Hail, O Osiris, I have come unto thee, and I have set thine enemies under thy feet in every place, and thou art triumphant in the presence of the company of the gods and of the divine sovereign chiefs. Hail, O Osiris, thou hast received thy scepter and the place whereon thou art to rest, and thy steps are under thee. Thou bringest food to the gods, and thou bringest sepulchral meals unto those who dwell in their tombs. Thou hast given thy might unto the gods, and thou hast created the great God. Thou hast thy existence with them in their spiritual bodies. Thou gatherest thyself unto all the gods, and thou hearest the word of right and truth on the day when offerings to this God are ordered on the festivals of Uka. Chapter 129. See Chapter 100. Chapter 130. Vignette: in the papyrus of Nu, this chapter has no vignette, but in the Sa'ite Recension the deceased is seen standing in the stern of a boat behind Ra and two other gods. Text: another chapter of making perfect the Khu, which is to be recited on the birthday of Osiris, and of making to live the soul forever. The Chancellor Chief, Nu, triumphant, saith: the heavens are opened, the earth is opened, the west is opened, the east is opened, the southern half of heaven is opened, the northern half of heaven is opened. The doors are opened and the gates are thrown wide open to Ra as he cometh forth from the horizon. The Sektet boat openeth for him the double doors, and the Matet boat bursteth open for him the gates. He breatheth, and the god Shu cometh into being, and he createth the goddess Temut. Those who are in the following of Osiris follow in his train, and the overseer of the palace, the chancellor in chief, Nu, triumphant, followeth on in the train of Ra. He taketh his iron weapon, and he forceth open the shrine even as doth Horus, and pressing onwards he advanceth unto the hidden things of his habitation with the libations of his divine shrine, the messenger of the god that loveth him. The Osiris Nu, the overseer of the palace, the chancellor in chief, triumphant, bringeth forth the right and the truth, and he maketh to advance the going forward of Osiris. The Osiris Nu, the overseer of the palace, the chancellor in chief, triumphant, taketh in his hands the cordage, and he bindeth fast the shrine. Storms are the things which he abominateth. Let no water flood be nigh unto him. Let not the Osiris Nu, the overseer of the palace, the chancellor in chief, triumphant, be repulsed before Ra, and let him not be made to turn back. For behold, the eye is in his two hands. Let not the Osiris Nu, the overseer of the palace, the chancellor in chief, triumphant, walk in the valley of darkness. Let him not enter into the lake of those who are evil, and let him have no existence among the damned, even for a moment. Let not the Osiris Nu fall headlong among those who would lead him captive, and let not his soul go in among them. Let his divine face take possession of the place behind the block of the god Septu. Hymns of praise be unto you, O ye divine beings of the thigh. The knives of God work in secret, and the two arms and hands of God cause the light to shine. It is doubly pleasant unto him to lead the old unto him along with the young at his season. Now behold, the god Thoth dwelleth within his hidden places, and he performeth the ceremonies of libation unto the god who reckoneth millions of years. And he maketh a way through the firmament, and he doeth away with storms and whirlwinds from his stronghold. And the Osiris Nu, the overseer of the palace, the chancellor in chief, triumphant, arriveth in the places of his habitations. O ye divine beings of the thigh, do ye away with his sorrow and his suffering and his pain, and may the sorrow of the Osiris Nu be altogether put away. Let the Osiris Nu, the overseer of the palace, the chancellor in chief, triumphant, gratify Ra. Let him make a way into the horizon of Ra. Let his boat be made ready for him. Let him sail on happily, and let Thoth put light into his heart. Then shall the Osiris Nu, triumphant, praise and glorify Ra, and Ra shall hearken unto his words, and he shall beat down the obstacles which come from his enemies. I have not been shipwrecked, I have not been turned back in the horizon, for I am Ra Osiris. And the Osiris Nu, the overseer of the palace, the chancellor in chief, shall not be shipwrecked in the great boat. Behold him whose face is in the god of the thigh, because the name of Ra is in the body of the Osiris Nu, the overseer of the palace, the chancellor in chief, and his honour is in his mouth. He shall speak unto Ra, and Ra shall hearken unto his words. Hymns of praise unto thee, O Ra, in the horizon, and homage unto thee, O thou that purifiest with light the denizens of heaven, O thou who hast sovereign power over heaven at that supreme moment when the paddles of thine enemies move with thee. The Osiris Nu, the overseer of the palace, the chancellor in chief, triumphant, cometh with the ordering of right and truth, for there is an iron firmament in Amentet which the fiend Apep hath broken through with his storms before the double lying god, and this will the Osiris Nu set in order. O hearken ye, ye who dwell upon the top of the throne of majesty. The Osiris Nu shall come in among thy divine sovereign chiefs, and Ra shall deliver him from Apep each day, so that he may not come nigh unto him, and he shall make himself vigilant. The Osiris Nu shall have power over the things which are written. He shall receive sepulchral meals, and the god Thoth shall provide him with the things which should be prepared for him. The Osiris Nu maketh right and truth to go round about the bows in the great boat, and hath triumph among the divine sovereign chiefs, and he establisheth for millions of years. The divine chiefs guide him, and give unto him a passage in the boat with joy and gladness. The first ones among the company of the sailors of Ra are behind him, and he is happy. Right and truth are exalted, and they have come unto their divine Lord, and praises have been ascribed unto the god Neb-er-tcher. The Osiris Nu, the overseer of the palace, the chancellor in chief, triumphant, hath taken in his hands the weapon, and he hath made his way through heaven therewith. The denizens thereof have ascribed praises unto him as unto a divine being who standeth up and never sinketh to rest. The god Ra exalteth him by reason of what he hath done, and he causeth him to make of none effect the whirlwind and the storm. He looketh upon his splendours, and he stablisheth his oars, and the boat saileth round about in heaven, rising like the sun in the darkness. Thoth, the mighty one, leadeth the Osiris Nu within his eye, and he sitteth upon his thighs in the mighty boat of Khepera. He cometh into being, and the things which he saith come to pass. The Osiris Nu advanceth, and he journeyeth round about heaven unto Amentet. The fiery deities stand up before him, and the god Shu rejoiceth exceedingly, and they take in their hands the bows of the boat of Ra along with his divine mariners. Ra goeth round about, and he looketh upon Osiris. The Osiris Nu is at peace. The Osiris Nu is at peace. He hath not been driven back. The flame of thy moment hath not been taken away from him. O Ra, the whirlwind and storm of thy mouth have not come forth against him. He hath not journeyed upon the path of the crocodile, for he abominateth the crocodile, and it hath not drawn nigh unto him. The Osiris Nu embarketh in thy boat, O Ra. He is furnished with thy throne, and he receiveth thy spiritual form. The Osiris Nu travelleth over the paths of Ra at daybreak to drive back the fiend Nebit. He cometh upon the flame of thy boat, O Ra, upon that mighty thigh. The Osiris Nu knoweth it, and he attaineth unto thy boat, and behold, he sitteth therein, and he maketh sepulchral offerings. Rubric: this chapter shall be recited over a boat of the god Ra which hath been painted in colours in a pure place. And, behold, thou shalt place a figure of the deceased in the bows thereof, and thou shalt paint a Sektet boat upon the right side thereof, and an Atet boat upon the left side thereof, and there shall be made unto them offerings of bread and cakes and wine and oil, and every kind of fair offering upon the birthday of Osiris. If these ceremonies be performed, his soul shall have existence, and shall live for ever, and shall not die a second time. The following is from the rubric to this chapter in the Sa'ite Recension. He shall know the hidden things of the underworld. He shall penetrate the hidden things in Neter Kertet, the underworld. This chapter was found in the large hall of the temple under the reign of His Majesty Hesepti, triumphant, and it was found in the cavern of the mountain which Horus made for his father Osiris Un-Nefer, triumphant. Now since Ra looketh upon this deceased in his own flesh, he shall look upon him as the company of the gods. The fear of him shall be great, and the awe of him shall be mighty in the heart of men, and gods, and Khus, and the damned. He shall be with his soul, and shall live for ever. He shall not die a second time in the underworld, and on the day of weighing of words no evil hap shall befall him. He shall be triumphant over his enemies, and his sepulchral meal shall be upon the altar of Ra in the course of each day, day by day. End of chapters 121 through 130.